This smartwatch is only $80 and it can do almost everything the Apple Watch and Galaxy Watch can. It's the Amazfit Bip 6 and we're going to find out if it is the best budget smartwatch. Hi, I'm Lexi and I am a 100% self-confessed smartwatch nerd, and the Amazfit Bip 6 really does hold its own despite it being a less expensive watch. The design kind of reminds me a little bit of the Fitbit Versa from back in the day with those two side buttons. It's got a 1.97-inch AMOLED display which is nice and bright. The maximum brightness reaches 2000 nits, which is actually the same as the Apple Watch Series 10 and Galaxy Watch 7. Now the display itself, when you're in bright sunlight, it's really easy to see. However, the screen is a little bit reflective and it doesn't photograph as well as it actually looks in real life. It's got a built-in GPS as well as a speaker and microphone on board, so this means you'll be able to take quick calls from your wrist as long as your phone is within Bluetooth range. You also get some voice control of the watch. However, I've definitely found that it is quicker and easier to just use the touchscreen and buttons if you can. And probably my favorite feature, which is becoming increasingly rare in smartwatches these days, is compatibility with Android and iOS. Now, there are some fundamental differences in what you can do on each ecosystem depending on what phone you pair it to, but I'll explain that a little bit later. The interface is easy to use and the top button will bring up your list of apps. The bottom button will list your workouts. Did I mention you can track over 140 different workout types on this particular watch? You'll also be able to go into the settings and customize what the long press of each button does. For example, bringing up your favorite app. If you swipe down from the watch face, you'll get access to your quick controls, things like do not disturb and setting your always on display on or off. If you swipe up from the watch face, you will get your notifications that come through from your phone. You can also customize what notifications come through by going into the Zep app. That's the app that you'll need to download on either your iPhone or Android phone to communicate with the watch. And if you swipe to either the left or right, you'll see quick access to things like your exercise and workout metrics, your steps, your readiness score, as well as how well you slept the night before if you do use it for sleep tracking. The vibration motor on this watch is actually pretty strong and I can definitely feel it even on the standard setting. There is also an enhanced setting available as well. Although this is one of those features that definitely give away that this is a less expensive watch because you can hear that vibration motor actually buzz when you're in a quiet environment when you generally can't with more expensive watches. There's almost a ridiculous number of watch faces to choose from within the Zep app, so you can go to town customizing them to your liking. The responsiveness is actually pretty good, even though it is only an $80 watch. The one thing I would suggest though is if you are going through those menus and you're finding it's making a little bit of a delay in getting that raise to wake action to work, you can go into the settings and change that to be a little bit more sensitive, which might help. You can also play music through the watch on the speaker, which is really fun. However, there are no third-party apps for music like Spotify, for example. You'll have to load that music on the watch yourself. There's a lot of workout tracking modes on this watch, as I alluded to earlier. There is also a strength training mode on here too, and that's going to automatically detect the exercise type that you're doing, over 25 different types, and then it's automatically going to be able to track things like your reps and also your rest time. The workout pages are neatly laid out. You can easily swipe up and down to see your favorite metrics. You can even go in further and customize each of those workout screens to have the data points visible that you like. The built-in GPS locks on pretty quickly within a few seconds, which is a nice thing. It's not always that fast or responsive on other budget smartwatches, and the accuracy is pretty good.
Change of scene because I've just finished testing the heart rate sensor on the Bip 6 compared to a chest strap. And take a look at these results. I've plotted them against each other. It's pretty close. There's like the first 5 minutes, there's like a little bit of gap where the watch was playing catch up a tiny amount. But for the rest of that 45-minute run, yeah, it's pretty close, and the average heart rate was spot on.
You can also download maps for offline use, which will give you turn-by-turn navigation. You do that from within the Zep app. This is actually a really nice feature because it's something that's generally reserved for more expensive smartwatches. So it was actually really nice to see this on a budget watch under $100. There's also a myriad of health tracking features if that's what you're into on your smartwatch as well. For example, on the Zep app, you can actually snap a photo of your food, your drink, or whatever it is. It's going to use ChatGPT 4o to analyze what is actually inside your food in terms of the macronutrient content, calories, things like that, and be able to log that for you. It's kind of nice if you're trying to keep tabs on, say, your weight or food intake. This watch tracks everything from heart rate to blood oxygen. It also monitors your stress. It does heart rate variability, and it can also track your sleep. However, it's unfortunate that the sleep tracking has not been particularly accurate for me. This is not uncommon in budget smartwatches, but it's still kind of disappointing because everything else on this watch is really good. I compared the results over at least a week of sleep compared to an 8 Sleep, which is an on-bed sleep tracker, and the Amazfit Bip constantly overestimated not only how much time I spent in bed, but how much time I spent in different sleep stages. And there was even one night when I had really bad insomnia. I only got 5-ish hours of sleep according to the 8 Sleep, and on my Amazfit watch it was like, yep, you got a great 8 hours rest. No, I didn't. I was exhausted. So if you're looking for the most accurate sleep tracking, this won't be it. And in terms of limitations, when you pair the Amazfit Bip 6 to an iPhone, you won't, for example, be able to respond to text messages at all. You'll only be able to see them come through on the watch and then respond on your phone. On Android, you will be able to respond to text messages from the watch. And the AI tools on iOS don't really work in the same way as they do on Android. For example, when you do get a notification and it has the AI assistant pop up, it doesn't do anything on iOS, whereas on Android, you'll have a different result. But the most important thing to talk about, well, it's not the most important thing, but I always like talking about it because I'm a smartwatch nerd, remember, is battery life. The battery life on the Amazfit Bip 6 is amazing. This is going to give you up to 14 days. Now that's according to Amazfit's testing, which is, I think, estimating it on a little bit more of the conservative usage side. So not having things like your always on display. So in my real world testing, which involves turning on the always on display, making sure all of those battery intensive features are turned on, including things like stress monitoring, sleep tracking, breathing quality, which is also one of those features that can show up in the health app if you like, as well as having all of these notifications come through on my phone. I got 6 full days out of the Amazfit Bip 6 before I needed to charge, which is crazy given that I had the always on display on. The brightness was at maximum a lot of the time because I was outside and I was doing things like sleep tracking. I kind of can't believe that you can get 6 full days of battery life from an AMOLED display, but yep, Amazfit somehow managed to do it. So is the Amazfit Bip 6 the best budget smartwatch that you can get? I definitely think if you have less than $100 to spend and you want a robust smartwatch that is going to be compatible with Android and iOS, it's got a really nice quality screen, killer battery life, and a range of health and fitness tracking features, this is the smartwatch to beat right now. Thank you for joining me on this journey as a solo content creator. So if you want to support, please give it a thumbs up on this video, subscribe, and of course, let me know other things that you want to see. And a quick disclaimer, the watch used in this review was provided for review specifically by Amazfit. The company did not have any editorial oversight or input into this video. This is 100% me and my own thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.